Well, the Supreme Court now agreeing to take the case that will test the limits of the president's powers. So this centers around President Trump's firing of Rebecca Slaughter. She's a Biden-appointed commissioner of the Federal Trade Commission. The court on Monday allowing that move to go forward for now as it weighs the independence of these agencies and reconsiders a 90-year-old court ruling. So for more on this, we welcome now courts and legal reporter for thehill.com, Zach Schonfeld. Zach, great to have you this morning. You know, I wanted to ask you right out of the gate, what is your expectation on the court reversing this 90-year-old ruling? And then we'll go from there.
Good morning, Kelly. Well, many court watchers have believed that this precedent has already been on its deathbed. The Supreme Court's conservative majority in recent years, in several cases, has taken steps to limit the reach of this 90-year-old precedent. A case called Humphrey's Executor that back in 1935 upheld the constitutionality of these for-cause removal protections at the FTC. So after the Supreme Court in those recent cases has said it doesn't apply to other agencies, and then since the president has retaken the White House and has tried to fire all of these different independent agency leaders without cause, it has really rushed this to the Supreme Court's docket. And so I think the fact that the Supreme Court has agreed to hear this case, to a lot of court watchers today, this isn't coming with too much surprise because they believe that the writing was already on the wall.
So I do want to ask you in response to that, the president would gain broader power to remove commissioners of independent multi-member regulatory boards at will. Would this allow him, do you believe, to remove Lisa Cook from her position? How would this impact the legal battle we're seeing play out there?
Well, the Lisa Cook battle, I think, does have some distinctions to this one, and that is that at the FTC and a lot of these other agencies, President Trump, he doesn't purport to be following the statute and having this valid cause to fire these officials. Instead, his administration has been going into court and saying that those protections are unconstitutional. But even though, as we've been talking about, the Supreme Court may be sympathetic to that, they have signaled that the Fed may be in a category of its own. And that's why you've seen the president, in firing Lisa Cook, actually trying to claim that he has cause. And that's why the administration has been latching on to those mortgage fraud accusations, as opposed to this FTC case where they acknowledge we're not following the statute. Supreme Court, you should strike it down. The argument at the Fed is we are following the statute. In fact, we have valid cause because of these mortgage fraud accusations. But that being said, you know, there are definitely overlap in these cases. So potentially what the Supreme Court says here could impact the Fed.
Yeah, very important distinctions there. Appreciate you laying that out. So this would tip the balance of power in the executive branch's favor. Those are the concerns by many. What do you see as the greatest implications there, Zach?
Well, this is part of a broader effort by the administration to argue that essentially President Trump has the constitutional authority to hire and fire almost anyone in the executive branch. They argue that these removal protections that Congress has passed that protect the FTC and some of these other regulators, these leaders from being terminated at the political whims of the White House, that infringes on the president's authority and effectively the separation of power. So at its core, the administration, this would be an expansion of presidential power, but they have been making the argument that all of these removal protections embedded into federal law are just unconstitutional.
Yeah, and could this implicate Congress down the line? A lot of questions remain. Zach Schonfeld, great to have you this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.